now that I found my tripod, I'm going to show you guys what I got going on for dinner tonight. I ended up leaving it sitting outside yesterday after I shot a video out there and I forgot it was out there. So here's what I got going on here. I picked up this beef sirloin tip roast, boneless beef sirloin tip roast at the store yesterday, and I couldn't remember if I'd cooked one of these or not before, so I checked out a couple YouTube videos last night to see what to do with it, and they usually recommended marinating this, and I guess it's probably kind of like a sirloin steak type of meat, probably the same thing. So what I did is I took my knife here and I just poked it full of holes all over, all the way around on both sides, and then I marinated in this red wine vinaigrette Italian dressing, and I just dumped a whole bunch of onion powder in there with that as well, and I just left it sit on the counter overnight. It's been pretty cold here. I live in Northern California and it hasn't rained, so it's been colder than heck all the time. So it's been marinating for, like I said, overnight, so 10-12 hours like that. And so I'm just going to season that with some garlic salt on the outside, and then I'm going to try to cook it on my Weber Jumbo Joe. I cooked a rib roast on there last week on New Year's Eve, and it came out a little bit dunner than I wanted it to, so I'm going to kind of play around and tweak my cooking method a little bit and see if I can get this to come out a little bit more rare. This roast looks like it's soaking up the marinade pretty good. Look at that. Looks pretty tender. You know, if you're worried about leaving it sitting out like that, put it in the fridge. I don't want anyone saying, oh, that Tin Man guy got me sick. I think that's going to be pretty good. Guess we'll see. So one thing I'm going to try different is I've been using this Royal Oak lump charcoal, and it burns really good, but I think it may burn a little hotter than briquettes. So I'm going to try using more briquettes. The only problem is I have all these random brands. I had some Kingsford, and I know those burn good, but then I have these ones from Long's and IGA and just all this random stuff that I haven't used before because we got them out of my mother-in-law's garage after she passed away last year, so I haven't really used those. I've noticed different brands of briquettes kind of burn differently, so that's one thing I'm going to do different. Another thing I'm trying is I stuck a brick in the bottom of the barbecue there, thinking that it'll kind of help hold the charcoal in place, but it might also kind of keep the heat away from the edge of the roast a little bit more. Alright, with those charcoal briquettes rather than the lump charcoal, I think that's going to be a colder fire, so put the lid on here and see how this goes. Okay, let's let it cook for a while and check it in a little bit. The roast's been on there about 40 minutes now, and the temperature's running at right about 225. Okay, that roast has been on there for an hour, so I'm going to take a peek and see how it looks. Okay. Let's see. Still needs a little more time, I think. Okay, it's been about an hour and a half. Let's see how we're looking now. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to pull it off, cover it with some foil, and then we'll let it sit for a half hour or so, and then we'll cut into it and see how it is. So I pulled my roast off at about 120 degrees. Actually, it was a little less than 120 degrees because My wife likes her meat like super rare. So then I covered it with foil. So it's been sitting under that foil for about half an hour. So let me get that off of there and we'll cut into it and see how it looks. Okay, foil's off of there. Let's cut into this thing and see how she looks. I think I'll just cut it right in half. It's pretty rare, I think. But my wife likes it really rare, so if I'm ever going to make an error when I'm cutting meat, cooking meat, better to be undercooked than overcooked. So my wife won't even eat it if it's even just like medium. That's really rare. My wife's gonna love that. Look how rare that is. It's exactly the way she likes it. I could stand to have it a little more cooked than that, but I bet you it's gonna be pretty good. See if it tastes. I can taste that marinade. Yeah, you can really taste that marinade. It soaked that marinade up really nicely. And it's tender. I mean, it's pretty rare meat, but it's tender. I didn't know if that marinade would get into the center of the roast very much, but it really did. Cool. That turned out really good. A lot better than the rib roast I cooked last time. My wife's gonna love this. All right. Thanks for watching, you guys. Talk to you next time. So how was that meat, babe?
Overcooked for me.